let's talk about skincare in the 1920s. For a typical woman in the 1920s, skincare was minimal, like a routine, and they had a couple steps, and those steps we're going to try and replicate today. A crucial product that was used during this time for a skincare routine is cold cream. Cold cream is a mixture of water, oil, or wax. Usually the type of oil they used would be like coconut oil or mineral oil, and the famous most used product at the time was the Pond's cold cream specifically, and it still exists today, so we are going to be using that. The formula has changed a little bit over time, but not by much. The Pond's cream does use mineral oil, and then it has the beeswax in the water also. Following a skincare routine from the 20s, we are going to be using the Pond's cold cream as our face wash. Women also use the cold cream as a form of makeup remover, and we'll be getting into the makeup aspects of the 1920s in my next video. And while I apply this to the face, I'm going to talk about another beauty treatment that became popular in the 20s. Back when x-rays were first invented, women would use them as a form of hair removal. They would use the x-rays to burn off their hair. And it was a popular treatment until doctors started getting patients that became severely sick due to the radiation in the x-rays. The reason this product is called cold cream is because once you apply it to your skin, the water in the cold cream absorbs the heat from your skin, causing it to evaporate and leaving your skin with a cooling sensation. Cold cream is a decent makeup remover and face wash. It's super gentle, good for all skin types. There's just not a lot of active ingredients within the product, so you're not going to be seeing a huge change in the texture of your skin. Something really cool is that clay masks, also known as mud masks, became very fashionable in the 1920s after they became the first commercially manufactured face mask to gain widespread use. And that's what we're going to be doing for our next step. I am using the Watermelon Glow Hyaluronic Clay Mask, and I'm going to apply it with a brush all over the face. Usually for clay masks, you're going to want to let it dry completely. And they are really good for oily skin because clay mask can help absorb all your face oils. If you have breakouts or acne, it's a good way to dry those out without damaging your skin barrier. Okay, now that I've completely applied the clay mask, I'm going to let it sit in my face and dry for probably about 20 minutes. So now I am removing the face mask with a hot towel, which is what they would have done during this time frame. It's also important to note that for a skincare routine, they wouldn't always do a clay mask every day. It was more something that they would use once a month, maybe twice a month if their skin was really oily. Another interesting thing during this time is there was a lot of products called fat soaps. Women during this time period had finally liberated themselves from corsets, which fantastic, right? We're way more comfortable. However, they no longer had a shapewear to suck everything in, so they became obsessed with their weight. So slews of products hit the market, claiming to help with weight loss, keep your figure slim, and these were often called fat soaps. And there was one called the Parley Obesity fat soap, and it was a coconut oil soap with a little bit of potassium iodide and sassafras, and it claimed to melt away all of the fat and tighten your skin up so there was no loose skin afterwards. Sounds great, right? Unfortunately, it didn't work. Now we're moving on to our last step of our skincare routine, which is going to be moisturizing the skin. And guess what we're using? The Pond's cream again. So they would often use this as moisturizer, and they'd even apply it as a thin layer to the skin as a makeup primer, which is really interesting, and we are going to try that out in the next video. It's also important to note that a lot of beauty products during this time included harmful ingredients, including arsenic, mercury, and radium. So, as glamorous as we think the 1920s was, there was a lot of damage done to the skin while we were still trying to figure out what worked and what didn't. And I know that this skincare routine is very, very minimal, but that's how it was. They didn't have a lot of options, and a lot of stuff wasn't invented yet. So this kind of concludes the skincare routine. Let's look at the skin. It's not looking bad, actually. It looks moisturized, hydrated. What do we think? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and follow so that you can see part 2 and 3 of beauty in the 1920s. We're probably going to be focusing a lot more on the makeup side of things next time, but I hope you enjoyed and learned some interesting facts about skincare in the 20s, and thank you for watching.